One man, one story. Mr. Frank Abagnale, the man who calmed the world. A story that started in New York, US, and ended in Montpellier, France. This may just be one to fill a blockbuster movie. Oh, whoops. Sorry. Didn't see you there. Well, listening to my new favorite song, "Sicko Mode" by Tractor Scott, whoever that is. But Frank Abagnale Jr. was born from an Italian father and a French mother in New Rochelle, New York, on April 27th, 1949. Frank had a great life, a father who owned a stationery store on Madison Avenue, and a mother who was kind and gentle. Two ingredients for a lasting relationship. At only 15, Frank wrote his first bad check and received a bill amounting to over $3,400. And at 16, yeah, his parents divorced. So that kind of sucks. Now this is where it gets interesting. At ages 16 to 18, Frank flew for Pan Am, impersonating an airline pilot, flying over 1,000 miles and many different countries by deadheading. A practice where, free of charge, a company will transport their own staff so they can be in the right place for their job. He also impersonated a doctor, literally a children's doctor. Well, he was almost caught, and well, he ended up leaving because he was a doctor and he didn't know how to be a doctor, so he left. Then he actually went and passed the bar exam for the state of Louisiana, which in the state of Louisiana you can take the bar as many times as you want. So he just used the process of elimination and passed, and then he became an actual lawyer for the state of Louisiana. So that was pretty cool. Now, the story of Frank Abagnale is a great, great story, great adventure. But all things, good or bad, they come to an end. Frank was eventually caught in Montpellier, France. He had been just going on a check spree throughout Europe, and France wasn't having it. So you know what they did? They put him in a notoriously harsh French prison where he lost almost 90 pounds in 6 months. And then Sweden was like, nah, this guy did bad stuff to us too. He took our money from our banks. So they put him in 6 months of prison there as well. And then finally US was like, all right, you can come back. And he was extradited back to the US, where he served 6 more years of his 12-year sentence. And the FBI, offered him a little deal that he work as a consultant for the FBI for no pay. They can't pay criminals, I guess. And they would release him early. Of course, he accepted. Now this is where things get a little weird. Frank Abagnale started his own security consultant business, Abagnale and Associates, where he presides over 14,000 financial institutions. And CNN put him in the pinnacle 400.
Just like that, life was written away on paper. Life was full of sports and crime and even misbehavior. But I got Perry with me, he's no savior. We'll be waiting for our death, so I will see you later. Once we were 30 years old, our crimes have been told. We've traveled around the states, but no more roaming. Soon we'll be 30 years old.
Just kidding. And not the end. I just wanted to talk about, some things on my mind. And I think that I thought we could have a little face-to-face conversation, you know? Uh Here, let's see. Oh, there we go. Now, I'm sorry for the camera quality. It's kind of bad. It's my my laptop I used to make the video. It doesn't have it's not really for recording things, so it doesn't have the best webcam. But I think it's good enough. And one thing I wanted to talk about was like the movie. If you didn't know, Frank Abagnale, his story, it stars in a movie called Catch Me If You Can. Um, it's by Steven Spielberg. It's based off of his story. A lot of it's exaggerated, but I think a lot of it's actually pretty accurate. I mean, there isn't a lot that just kind of leads you the wrong way, and I feel like Frank is just he's a he's like just wildly accepted by crowds. He doesn't Nobody thinks badly of his talks or his stories, or like everyone likes him. He just he doesn't do anything that would make people think he's a bad person. Well, now he doesn't. But like Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks and Leonardo DiCaprio, who play in his movie, um, they all like him. It's like he's become a security icon, which I know security is kind of a niche group. Like there's not a security isn't really a mainstream like idea, really. It's just do what people tell you to do. But I feel like Frank, for somebody who works in the industry field, is sort of an icon. You know, he was once a dirty, filthy con man, a fraudster, and now he he created checks that people can't do what he did with them, and he like made it to where it's harder to steal money from ATMs. Now there are people that literally dig ATMs out of walls with excavators, but I don't think he was accounting for that. And you know, this guy is still working. He's 74 years old and he still works. And he's looking pretty spiffy if you ask me. Like he's he's grinding hard every single day, making security better, making your lives well, indirectly better. Um, I wouldn't say he's directly affecting every single person's life, but I think he's a pretty big guy and he goes unnoticed most of the time, even though he has a pretty big movie about him, you know, directed by Steven Spielberg, starring Tom Hanks and Leonardo DiCaprio. It's kind of it's kind of crazy to think about that a lot of people haven't watched this movie. At least I've heard people have not watched this movie. I might be wrong, but it was on Netflix. I think it got removed, so you can't watch it on Netflix anymore. But you should watch it anyway. We should watch it together sometime. I don't know why I said that. Um, I gotta speak right in the mic so you can hear me. This video is not sponsored by Honey, Raid Shadow Legends, Ridge Wallet, or Manscaped. Do not use code GuyChugsWater10 to get 30% off. And if you like this video, like, consider subscribing to Guy Chugs Water. And go watch the other videos of me drinking water. I drink a lot of water.